I know it's been over a month since I posted. I've been too busy trying to find a new hairstyle. But we've gotten a lot, and I really want to cover a lot of it. So let's do a little bit of a recap for you guys, starting off with Supergirl. So we got the trailer for Supergirl a couple days ago. I honestly think it looks great. It's very Guardians vibes, very James Gunn-esque, and I think that's cool. I know this film isn't actually directed by James Gunn. It's actually the first film in the DCU that isn't at the direct helm of James Gunn, but still, I love the trailer. I think it looks really fun. And I do think Millie Alcock will grow into the role of Supergirl very nicely in this movie. In the book that they're adapting, Women of Tomorrow, is a very cool story. I would read it before you actually see the movie because I think it'll make a lot more sense to you. But also, it's just a good story, and I think if they adapt it well, this could be a huge success. Sony has given us our first ever poster for Spider Noir, their new Amazon Prime series coming sometime next year. Starring Nicolas Cage, it follows retired superhero Ben Reilly as he becomes a private investigator fighting Nazis and drinking egg creams. Now, I put a little emphasis on the Ben Reilly there because we had a rumor a couple months ago that they weren't going to be able to use the Peter Benjamin Parker name like he is in the comics, but opt for Ben Reilly because of some guideline issues that Sony and Disney had made in 2011, where Peter Benjamin Parker cannot use guns. That's a legal guideline that they have across media platforms, so they opted for Ben Reilly instead. Now, honestly, I don't think it truly matters. This is just another Spider-Man in the vast Spider-Verse, right? So maybe Ben Reilly became Spider Noir in this universe. So it really doesn't matter to me. That's how I view these stories at this point. But again, it's one of these Sony projects, so I'm always on the fence about it. I don't know if they're just translating what they did in those movies to a TV format, so I'm going to be on my toes about this. I also do kind of find it funny and embarrassing that they couldn't use Peter Benjamin Parker because of their own. They lost the battle to themselves. There was no restrictions but anything that they set for themselves, so I don't know. I think that's kind of funny. Sony also has reportedly been doing some thinking on what the future is for Venom. And this is actually why it took me so long to upload something, because I've been writing this really large script about what I think they should do with the Black Suit Spider-Man in the MCU, along with Venom in the MCU. And then a bunch of stuff kind of got teased and confirmed or theorized or rumors came out. And it just makes me rethink everything that I did in that script. So I'm taking it back and I'm going to modify it, and then I should have something ready for you guys. But this is super interesting. So let's take this tweet from Redacted Spider lightly, guys. But there is some fun Venom news on the horizon. Let's see. So Redacted Spider on Twitter says, take this with a grain of salt. Post-Secret Wars, Sony will revisit their spin-off films and make more entries in the Venom franchise as well. Only this time it will be set in the actual MCU and be an actual MCU production. Tom Hardy will not be returning as well. Finally, where have you been? This is the right choice, 100%. This is what we've been needing. Nobody should be Venom besides Eddie Brock. I'm being serious. And of course, I want Venom and all the other Spider-Man characters that we've seen in this trash other universe to be a part of the mainline continuum of Marvel movies. That just makes sense to me. So thank you, better late than never, but I'm not going to jump for joy for you doing something that should have already been done. And then the co-creator of Venom actually commented on who he would want to see as a live-action version of Eddie Brock in Venom, and he said Alan Ritchson, which I have been saying since like 2020. Everybody has been fan casting him as Bruce Wayne Batman. I never saw it, never wanted it. He's too bulky, he's blonde, he does not fit Batman at all. I'm sorry. When I saw him as Hawk in Titans, I was like, okay, he's literally Eddie Brock. He's jacked, he's blonde, he has like, oh, how cool would that be to see Alan Ritchson as Eddie Brock? I think that's a great choice, but it's already been kind of confirmed that they'll be going with somebody who is a little bit more around the age of Tom Holland. Sony, Marvel, I'm 23, gonna be 24 next year. I'm 5'10". We could put some lifts in my shoes if you need me to be taller. And I'm willing to get absolutely shredded to play Eddie Brock. Cast me. I have never acted a day in my life, but I will give you everything you want and more if you cast me as Venom. Could you imagine? All right, let's get to the big stuff here. Starting with Spider-Man Brand New Day, we have had reports saying they have officially wrapped filming, which is super exciting. Reports say they will be back in February for any necessary reshoots, and principal photography will go on till the end of December. What are we? We are 228 days away from the release of Spider-Man Brand New Day. How exciting is that, guys? So we have a couple other things that I got to talk about, starting with the confirmation that the ninjas that we have been hearing about in this huge jailbreak sequence or whatever are actually the Hand. They're reportedly going to be rocking their classic red ninja outfits from the comics, and it could explain what that symbol was on the side of that tank. Could it be from the Hand? This also ties in the Netflix Daredevil series, and it could explain why Punisher is caught up with Spider-Man. So you guys know we've been hearing a lot of reports about the Hulk returning to his savage nature in this film, but I think a lot of people have been underestimating how savage he is going to be. I think Bruce Banner is going to be pushed to the level of almost killing someone. Now, it kind of confused me because, I mean, like, Hulk has definitely, like, killed people before with collateral damage and stuff like that, but it kind of seems to me like saying that makes it like a person of importance, a character who will have an important role in the film will be the one to be almost killed by the Hulk. We also have to talk about this report that we got from spoiler_Marvel with 2 E's. Take it with a grain of salt, but these could be potential spoilers. We talked about that one report last time, and I like this one better. And I actually want to share this one with you guys, because if this is the true one, then I'd be so much more happy. So here we go. Peter Parker is completely alone, without MJ, without Ned, and without an identity, living through his darkest phase since No Way Home. Definitely accurate. Shathra is the main villain, portrayed by Sadie Sink, and she is a spider-like entity with mystical and manipulative powers. We've been hearing a lot about a manipulative villain. We've heard a lot about Shathra and deceiving, and how Sadie Sink's character is not who she seems. Seems very accurate. Shathra poses as Gwen Stacy, deceiving Peter for a large portion of the film. Peter falls in love with the fake Gwen, making Shathra's betrayal emotionally devastating. That rocks. I love that. She is a multiversal being. She knows that even though there's not a Gwen Stacy apparent in Peter's life at the moment, that if one is to be introduced, that Peter will lust for her and maybe have a soft spot, which will make the betrayal emotionally devastating. AIM is the true mastermind behind everything, operating from the shadows with mind control experiments and illegal technology. This is what I'm iffy about, because this is another thing I think that is kind of like a Tony Stark, like the Iron Boy Jr. aspect. But you know, I don't know. This is a rumor. AIM creates Scorpion's nanosuit, explaining both his upgrade and his prison escape. The Punisher appears as a rival anti-hero, clashing heavily with Spider-Man at first. Punisher and Spider-Man fight inside of a prison, facing mentally manipulated Department of Damage Control agents. The Hand appears as a hostile ninja force, attacking Peter and Punisher during the prison breakout. All of that I just read seems 100% true. That is 100% something that could happen, and I think will happen in this movie. Again, here we go again. Tombstone is the biggest street-level villain, pulling the strings of New York's organized crime. I knew he was going to have a similar role to Spectacular Spider-Man versus like the Insomniac games Tombstone. I think this is the right choice for this character in this arc. There is an open war between Punisher and Tombstone, causing brutal chaos in the streets. Tombstone recruits Scorpion, Boomerang, Tarantula, and other villains to hunt down Spider-Man and Punisher. We've been hearing these names since week 1? Peter loses his job as a delivery driver, probably at Delmar's, right? Sinking even deeper into poverty due to the chaos of his double life. He returns to the Daily Bugle as a photographer, recreating the classic style of the comics and the Tobey Maguire films. Yes. Do it. That's it. Unpaid rent nearly gets Peter evicted. Yes. Where's Mr. Dickovich? We need him back, reinforcing the film's grounded tone. Yes. I don't want him happy. Yes, this is so good. Gene DeWolf, this is something I haven't commented on, even though it's been out for quite some time. Liza Golden Zayas is most likely going to be playing Jean DeWolf, which is a cool character and it's totally opposite of what I was thinking she was going to be. Remember, I said she was going to be like a neighbor or like a teacher or maybe working at Del Mar's. She's going to be the cop Jean DeWolf that Spider-Man has a really great relationship in the Ultimate Comics. She's going to be a rendition of that, apparently. And I think that's awesome. That's a great police alley to introduce general audiences to, because I think people are already tired of Yuri Watanabe just because of the Insomniac games. I think that left a bad taste in their mouths. So I think switching to someone a little bit differently is nice, because a police ally with Spider-Man is really fun. Like, I will say, the entire first Spider-Man game with Yuri Watanabe is really fun, and I love that aspect of that story. Here we go. Yelena Belova interferes in the events, evaluating Spider-Man as a potential Avengers candidate. That's exactly what I thought her role was going to be. Spider-Man refuses to join the Avengers, wanting to define his identity first and protect his city. So I think that's true as well. I think Yelena will be there to recruit Spider-Man for the Avengers. He's going to say no, which is going to be the reason why he won't be in Doomsday. He might be on the ground level in New York with characters like Daredevil and Punisher and whoever else helping on the streets while all of this is happening, right? So yeah, that's what I think. Then we go, Shathra attempts to control the Savage Hulk, using him as a temporary weapon against Spider-Man. That's where maybe he could go gray. Maybe her influence will turn him gray. But like I said, take this with a grain of salt. Same thing with that last one we read a couple weeks ago. But this is cool. I like this a lot better. I'm kind of, like I said in the last one, Shathra might be a red herring. I think the Jean Grey talk is all red herring. And we're going to talk about that in a second, because I'm kind of peeved about the Jean Grey talk and how much evidence there is that she might be Jean Grey still. Okay, so here is my thoughts on the Jean Grey thing, because people are still trying to back this. And let me just give you my thought process behind this, so maybe you'll understand a little bit more why I think this is really dumb. So we're at the end of the multiverse saga, right? Spider-Man Brand New Day is the last film before the end of the multiverse saga, which, I mean, we all know that a reset is coming. Even if it's a soft reboot after Secret Wars, things are going to be very different, right? We're going to have a unified universe with the Avengers, the X-Men, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man. Everything's all going to be connected in this new rebooted universe. Why would you start adding those characters before it ends? What is the point of adding a character, an X-Men character? Right? X-Men don't have a presence inside of the mainline MCU at all. Why would you add an X-Men character? An unrelated X-Men character, right? Spider-Man doesn't really have too much of a relationship with Jean Grey, right? She's not, like, they've interacted, but she's not the X-Men you think of when you think of who has a relationship with Spider-Man. It's not Jean Grey. Why would you add Jean Grey into the likes of this movie when we already know it's packed with things like Tombstone and The Hand and this crime war and Punisher and the Hulk and Shathra? What is the point of putting Jean Grey in there? That's dumb. That's just inherently dumb. If that's the truth, that's stupid. Sorry. Like, I think, this thing that Kevin Feige said a couple months ago or years ago, I can't even remember where it's from, but something about mutants popping up here and there. It's a stupid concept. Save it for the reboot. Like, that's what you need to do. Like, this is the last movie before Doomsday and Secret Wars. Why would you add Jean Grey now? Just seems dumb. And we have our last bit of Spider-Man news here. It's kind of exciting. We are rumored to be getting a full trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day at the Super Bowl next year. Super exciting. I cannot wait, dude. That's super cool. I'm okay to wait for it. Okay, I think they're gonna give us a teaser next month in January, and then a full trailer at the Super Bowl. I think we're safe to say that. And even if we don't get the teaser trailer in January, still okay in getting it in February, because it's early February. It's not that long a wait. It's not. And we have what? Let's say it again. 228 days till Spider-Man Brand New Day. So exciting. Now let's get into the meatier stuff with Avengers Doomsday. Now, if you are living under a rock, you might not know that the first of 4 Avengers Doomsday trailers that are playing in front of Avatar Fire and Ash exclusively in theaters has already leaked online. Avatar Fire and Ash isn't even out yet. You know, the public can't even see this. This was a movie theater employee who leaked this. How hilarious. I don't want to say it was inevitable, but come on, like the way people have been moving with their scooping and their leaking the past couple years, it's inevitable. Obviously, I can't and won't show you the trailer, but it does give us our first ever look at the return of Steve Rogers. I'll give you a few details of what we see. We see a motorcycle pull up. We see the house that we saw Steve and Peggy in at the end of Endgame. We see a man walking up to the house. We see a man put down a Captain America uniform. And then we see a man holding a baby. And then the camera pans up to reveal that it is none other than Chris Evans as Steve Rogers. It fades to black and says Steve Rogers will return in Avengers Doomsday, then shows an Avengers Doomsday clock. Now, we already pretty much knew that he was returning due to some early reports and leaks, but now we have it officially confirmed. And honestly, guys, I'm excited for it. I think there's a lot more story to tell with Captain America, and I think what they're going for is interesting. I'm going to be honest with you. Captain America is also like my second favorite Marvel superhero. I know I talk a lot about Spider-Man, but like if I had to pick a second favorite Marvel hero, it would be Captain America. So I'm excited. Like I'm trying to look on the bright side here. I know this isn't ideal. I know it's not exactly what we wanted, but it's what we got. So I'm gonna try to make it a good time, because I think if we try, it will become a good time. A celebration of the movies that we grew up on, a true send-off, and a new fresh start just seems fun to me. Bringing back classic characters like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and the original X-Men, it seems fun, and I'm just super excited to see what it actually has in store. So we have 3 teasers left. Rumors say that the next one will be focused on Thor, then the next about Doom, and then the next one should be a full trailer of what we should be seeing in the actual movie. It is an odd marketing strategy. I know they're just trying to boost numbers and boost hype, but we all know everything's gonna leak online a week before everything comes out, just like it did today. I guess if I had to comment on what I want to see for these trailers, is just a good reason that Robert Downey Jr. is Doctor Doom. Like, that's the one thing that's on everybody's minds, and I know that's something they're probably going to save for the movie, but I think if people don't know the why, the biggest why, then they might not show up to the theater. So I think they need to do a little explaining on that, and for me at least. Lastly, let's get into some Avengers Secret Wars news. Guys, I don't even know what to say, man. We're on a generational run as Spider-Man fans. We are constantly just being fed with the best stuff. I mean, like, Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to be generational. We already know that. But confirmation, like, we already knew this was going to happen, but confirmation that Tom Holland is going to be one of the main characters in Avengers Secret Wars, it makes me feel so good. It makes me feel so good. And you know what just is the icing on top? He will reportedly don an altered version of the Thomas Ducrest symbiote suit. Let's go! Oh my god! Oh my god, look at this suit. Look at it. An altered version of it. I can only imagine what that means. Probably less veins, less shininess, the bigger eyes, no lenses on the eyes, just the regular white eyes. Cleaner, white emblem. I cannot wait to see what's gonna be. Because here's the thing: is we knew this was gonna happen, but confirmation just. I'm so excited. Oh my god. We're definitely going to be talking about these 3 upcoming trailers we're going to be getting, whether we see them in the theater or on Twitter. Definitely going to have to talk about them. And hopefully we get some new Spider-Man Brand New Day news, which is honestly what I'm only waiting for. But let me reiterate that I want to be excited for Doomsday. Because honestly, if I had to pick between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Kang Dynasty, I'd pick Doomsday. I did not like anything they did with Kang, and I don't want to see that revisited whatsoever. Doctor Doom, being Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom seems way more interesting to me. But I mean, let's be real. I'm just excited to see this new symbiote and Venom arc they got cooking up. And Marvel, Disney, if you need any help, you have my number. give me a call, please. Thanks, guys.